New assignment. We're going to explain the Westside Barbell system. This will be a comprehensive analysis of the conjugate method on history, methods, applications. My name is Mariano Saurio. I'm King's College. So what is the Westside Barbell conjugate system? It's a concurrent periodization training multiple qualities all year round. It's built on maximal effort, dynamic effort, and repetition effort methods. They have a frequent rotation of exercise variation. This is to avoid accommodation. This is proven with the world-class results. And it's adaptable to many sports. They have many world records. Why it matters in the modern strength training? This is because it keeps and maintains strength, speed, and hypertrophy all at the same time. The sessions are very efficient, from 45 to 60 minutes with focus accessories. We already saw that Charles Poliquin recommended basically the same amount of time, and every other thing that we have read recommend the same amount of time because the testosterone after 60 minutes tend to decrease. They can be ready for competition all year round. This is an evidence-informed method. It was basically based from the Soviet and Bulgarian methods plus the empirical results. The history of Louis Simmons and Westside Barbell. The founder is Louis Simmons, born in 1947, passed away 2022 in Columbus, Ohio. He became two severe major back injuries, and he was a long life experimenter. He was influenced by Satyorsky, Verkhoshansky, and the Bulgarian the Bulgarian method. And he had Westside Barbell as a real world laboratory, producing record holders. And as far as I remember, Louis was in Germany the first time he saw a magazine, and he started training there and learning the methods, and he was basically in love with that type of methodology, and he started studying much more and more and more. What is the philosophy and core principles? Basically, you have to rotate the main lift weekly, and this is to prevent the accumulation, the stallness. And he made a great. He always attacked the weak links. That's why the 75 to 80% of the total volume is accessories. He always said that you have to attack the weak links. He also had a 72-hour CNS recovery between similar accessories, between similar sessions, I'm sorry. It's data-driven experimentation and constant refinement. And he had what he called the 60% rule. And what is that? Is that on dynamic effort days, there should be around 60% as demanding as the max effort days. And this is to balance recovery and training frequency. This is the overview of the three pillars that the conjugate method has. The first one is the maximal effort, to develop absolute strength through 1 to 3 lifts on a weekly rotation. Then you have the dynamic effort, where the bar speed and the rate of force development is the most important thing, with maximal weights move explosively. And the repetition effort, which focus on hypertrophy and work capacity, and the weak point correction. And this is made through accessory exercises. And he did that in a 3-week pendulum wave, where progressive load schemes prevent accumulation while driving continuous progress. Now, the max effort method, what's definition and protocols? You work up to 1 to 3 repetition maximum rotated variations. So that means from 90 to 100% of your max. And this is done twice a week, one lower body and one upper body. You have to warm up to top set progressive loads with 3 to 5 minutes rest between attempts, and training max versus contest max. You have to stay calm and not excessive psyching up. This is to push yourself. Reading about him, he said like you can attempt one PR every 3 to 5 weeks. Always try to increase your PR. The max effort variations and rotations, how you do it on the lower body, you do variations of box squats with heights, different bars, different stances. The same thing with deadlift on the upper body. You can do variations with four board presses, close, wide, grip grips, and you can add bands, chains, resistant. You can do it incline and decline variations. The thing is that you have to change variations weekly, so don't repeat it for 4 to 6 weeks. This is to prevent accommodation, and the variations have to be selected strategically to target specific sticking points and weak links to the kinetic chain. What is the dynamic effort? The definition and rate of force development. This is as a maximal lift at maximal speed. This is the speed day. What this does is train the rate of force development, which is crucial for sport performance. You have to put velocity quality over load. So if the reps are grinding, you have to decrease the weight and be strict. It has to be repeatable technique and on every intent. You have to do it basically with perfect technique every intent. What are the protocols and programming for the lower body? You can do box squats from 10 to 12 sets, 2 repetitions on a 3 week wave from 50 to 60%, plus 25% with bands and chains. This gi or 70 to 85% raw. You do basically the same with the deadlift, 6 to 10 sets, 1 to 3, from 60 to 85 with short rest, and you focus on bar velocity. For the upper body, you can do 9 sets, 3 reps at 50% plus the 25% of the bands and chains. And you have to rotate the grip every 3 sets. You're supposed to keep and maintain the bar speed and change the exercise variation after completing each 3 week wave. And the repetition effort method, what are the purposes and parameters? The main driver is hypertrophy, general physical preparedness, and the joint and soft tissue resilience. This is 75 to 80% of the total training volume. You do 3 to 5 sets from 8 to 25 repetitions at 60 to 80% with rest from 45 to 90 seconds. And you progress the load, the reps, and the density, and you have to choose the accessories to fix any weak link that you have. Is either the posterior change, tricep, lat, score, external rotation of the shoulder. And this would be like a weekly training structure on a 4-day split. You'll do Monday the maximum effort lower, and Wednesday you'll do maximal effort upper, both days with accessory work. 70 to 80% of the whole workout will be accessory work. On Friday you'll do the dynamic effort lower, and on Saturday you do the dynamic effort upper. This allows you to have around 72 hours to recovery periods between similar muscle groups for optimal CNS recovery. What is the accommodating resistance with bands and chains? This matches the variable leverage across the range of motion, lows strong range where mechanical advantage is the greatest. What does this does? It reduces the deceleration phase, promoting acceleration through lockout where most lifters slow down. This is done at the typical top end load is 20 to 25% of the 1 RM from bands and chains. For example, you have a 225 pound bar plus 75 pounds bar bands at the top. And what does this does? The bands add reactive over speed effects, and the chains add stable and linear resistance. The applications of benefits, you can do like if you have 300-pound bench press, you can on the dynamic effort you can do at 50%. So that would mean 150 pounds plus 75 pounds of bands, which is 25% at the top. And you can do that with the box squats and all the other exercises. What are the benefits? That you can increase and create a higher peak force. You improve reversal strength, and it's maintained by bar speed through the whole range of motion. And this is better for specificity. But the implementation requires sound technique and progressive exposures, so it's better to start with modest percentages. Here I did a comparison between the West Side Barbell conjugate method against the linear or block periodization. The approach of the West Side Barbell is a concurrent system that develops multiple qualities at the same time, versus traditional that is a sequential phases. On the West Side Barbell, you do not have phases. All qualities are trained weekly with rotating exercise variations. But on the linear periodization, you have different phases, hypertrophy, strength, that at the end they diminish. The exercise selection for the conjugate method is a weekly rotation of the main exercises. That's to prevent accommodation. But on the traditional linear, you do a consistent exercise throughout the phase, and this leads to accommodation. You have to maintain strength, power, and hypertrophy all year round with the conjugate method. And on the traditional linear periodization, the qualities regress. You're always ready with the conjugate method. You can pick multiple times a year. On the block periodization and traditional linear periodization, there's a single time pick for a specific computation date, and it's very flexible. The West Side conjugate method is highly individualized and adapts to the athlete's needs and weakness. The linear periodization most of the time are standardized across teams, groups, with limited customization. What are the key and advantages of the conjugate system? It maintains strength, speed, and size concurrently. You do not burn out the CNS, and you have opportunities to frequent PR. The individualized accessory works, targeting the limiting factors of each athlete, and you have to scale to seasons, equipments, and the athlete training age. Applications beyond powerlifting. For team sports, you can blend the maximal effort and dynamic effort with practice, manage fatigue and timing around competition and practices. For combat sports, you can do a condensed conjugate method. You can look at for Phil Daru if you want to learn more about combat sports condensed conjugate method. He basically does a maximal effort day and dynamic effort on the same day, and then rotate it for another day, 72 hours difference. So maximal effort lower, dynamic effort upper, On Monday and Thursday would be maximal effort upper, dynamic effort lower. For the track and field, you can do dynamic effort box squats, sled drags, jumps, and the maximal effort are used to uh, sparingly in season, emphasis on power development. So this has a strong foundation for tactical and general athletic populations and is scalable for experience levels and equipment access. As we already said, this is some examples that you can do with NFL football players, rugby, and combat sports. Conclusions and takeaways. You can train maximal effort, dynamic effort, and repeated effort every week. You have to rotate variations to avoid accommodations, prioritize accessories to fix the weak links. The bands and chains that you use are about 20 to 25% of the of the of the one of the maximal effort that you can do. 100 kilos, you can do 25 kilos on with bands and chains, and this is to match the strength curve. You keep sessions focused from 45 to 60 minutes. You track all PRs and then adjust to the sport if necessary. And basically, here are all the references that I use for this assignment.